The first time it happened, the call was already connected. I hadn't heard a ringtone. I hadn't felt the vibration. I only noticed because my phone was warm in my hand. Screen lit, timer running. 2:11. I stared at it, confused, then brought it to my ear, breathing, not through the phone, around it, close enough that I felt it more than I heard it. I said nothing. The breathing didn't pause. It didn't react. I ended the call and sat there, listening to the room for any sign I wasn't alone. The call log showed it later. Incoming, 7 minutes and 34 seconds. I didn't remember answering. That night, it happened again. I reached for my phone to check the time and found the call already open. No number, no contact, just the connection. For 52. This time there was a voice. "You're standing." My skin prickled. I hadn't moved since picking up the phone. "You'll sit in a moment," the voice continued, flat, certain. I sat down. A pause. Then, good. I hung up. The calls didn't stop. They adapted. Sometimes the phone connected while it was still on the table. Sometimes the screen lit up in my pocket, heat pressing against my leg as the timer climbed. The voice never greeted me, never addressed me directly. It described, "You checked the lock. You looked at the hallway. You stopped reading. Always a fraction ahead. Never wrong." I tried to ignore it, left the phone in another room, turned it face down, powered it off. It didn't matter. I would wake up with the phone beside me, screen glowing softly in the dark, call already underway. 6:13, 1:47, 9:02. Once, I found a missed call lasting over 7 hours. No voicemail, because it hadn't been trying to leave one. One night, I tested it. I stood perfectly still in the middle of the room, controlled my breathing, counted my heartbeats, silence on the line. Then slowly, "That won't last." My chest tightened. I held my breath harder. The breathing continued anyway. Took me a moment to realize why. It was mine. Coming through the phone, perfectly timed, independent. I dropped the phone. The sound didn't stop. It moved into the room instead, filled the space like pressure. The voice spoke again, closer now, not louder, just nearer. "You're learning." That was the first time it had ever acknowledged me. The calls started lasting longer after that. I'd fall asleep and wake to find the timer still running. Hours added without my awareness. I checked timestamps, calls beginning before I lay down, ending after I woke. I wasn't answering them. They were continuing. I took the phone to the provider. The technician scrolled through my logs, brow furrowing. "These aren't routed through a number," he said. "They're not external." "Then where are they coming from?" I asked. He hesitated, then turned the screen toward me. The origin field was filled in, not with digits, with text. Inside caller. "That's not possible," he said quickly. "We'll reset the line." That night, the phone stayed dark. No screen, no warmth, no sound. I slept for the first time in weeks. I woke just before dawn. Breathing filled the room. Not mine. The voice came from the doorway. No distortion. No delay. You stopped responding, it said. That's inefficient. Footsteps. Barely audible. Getting closer. The device was a courtesy. I backed against the wall, heart hammering, throat locked. You're still connected, the voice continued. You always were. I felt it then. Pressure behind my eyes. A sense of something running in the background of my thoughts. Counting, measuring, logging, like a timer that never resets. The last thing I saw before the lights went out was my phone on the floor. Screen black, timer still moving.